Well, it's almost winter. I can start leaving my cat outdoors without a flea collar. My cat hasn't had fleas for a long time, and my yard, in actually both locations, I've got two places, for the moment anyway. I haven't had a flea problem at either place though for, well, geez, probably 6 or 7 years or better. Whereas earlier on I did have a flea problem downstate. See, I've been in that house for maybe 10 years, and probably the first 3 years I had on and off intermittent, cat catching fleas and having to give my cat a flea bath. Of course, it was a different cat back then. Anyways, it's kind of off season almost to even talk about this, but because hopefully we won't need these much longer. Big deep freeze coming out. You can see I've got quite a collection here of collars I've accumulated. And that's because I don't throw them out. These are all Herbal collars. These purple ones. This one's still nice and soft. Actually, this is the newest one. I don't know how I got to the bottom of the bin. They get hard with age. That's when they're about ready to throw them out. Probably that one should go. They got enough of them. But what I do is I keep them in a jar. This gets in my crawl because I was reading the reviews on these collars. I think it was on Chewy. And one lady said, "Oh, you guys are all doing it wrong. They don't say anything about these being for fleas or pests or anything. They're just to make your cat smell good." My cat smells bad, and I put the collar on to make him smell good. Well, God, that is wrong in so many ways. First of all, this doesn't smell that good. It's pennyroyal. Unless you like pennyroyal, it's the predominant fragrant note. Unless you really like pennyroyal, you're probably not going to like the way these smell. And they lose their smell after a while. So what I do is I keep them in a jar, and I put a few drops of pennyroyal oil in here. I keep my chemical ones in too. When I did have a flea problem, these are really old collars. I probably just throw out. And for a few years after I had flea problems, for preventative, I'd buy these chemical ones. These are pretty dead now. Still pretty soft though. Actually, they've probably absorbed enough pennyroyal to actually work. Even this one smells like crazy. Actually, it smells more than most of them do. It's kind of an absorptive material. I'll reuse these. So anyway, she put down, "Oh, you guys are using these wrong. They're not to help with pests. They're just to make your cat smell good." Well, if your cat doesn't smell good on his own, then you really need to get your cat to a vet. Cats don't stink, they rarely have offensive odors. I mean, all creatures fart, but... Anyway, so that's how I do it. I buy the Herbal collars just as a preventative means. I only put it on my cat when I put him outside. I put my cat outside on a leash most times. Downstate, I let him out run free because it's a safer area. I really can't do that here. There's too many coyotes around. Or down there, I live on a dead-end street. It's not too terrible. It's still a risk anytime you let your cat out, of course. So that's what I do. I keep my collars in a jar. I only put them on when he goes out. I keep him smelling strong by putting a few drops of course, I've got all these essential oils. I put a few drops of pennyroyal oil in the jar, and usually a few drops of peppermint oil as well, and possibly other oils, but mostly those two. Mostly the pennyroyal oil is the real effective one. And that keeps the collars fresh and revitalized. When I put a collar on them, it always smells like crazy because it's been in the jar. And the vapor pressure kind of distributes from the jar, especially when you got some oil at the bottom. Keeps them all locked up with the vapors of the pennyroyal oil. And the pennyroyal oil is the main thing. It's very good at repelling all kinds of things like ticks and spiders and all arthropods or whatever they are, and insects to a degree. It's toxic to both. Most of these oils, like the other oil you can use is cedarwood oil. I know cedarwood oil interferes with the molting. I think pennyroyal oil probably does kind of a similar thing. Now, the pennyroyal oil is very repulsive to spiders and presumably ticks. A few drops of pennyroyal oil can get them out of your house if you really, if you can stand pennyroyal oil smell, and which I don't really like that much. If you like pennyroyal oil more than you like spiders, a few dots of pennyroyal oil will drive them out of your house. And then you can deal with the ants instead. But that's how it goes. Well, just some quick thoughts on flea collars. And I just use them as a prophylactic, preventative measure. And I keep them fresh and smelly, sealed in a jar.